Okay, for those influencers that are not on live tonight, we forgive you. Okay. But we are here and we're having some fun. You always need to come on live because that's where we have the most fun and we get a chance to act with each other and get questions answered real time. So if you want to know about announcements, you got to get on live because I make those before we start recording. Okay. So you can't hold me accountable for whatever I said. All right. So anyway, let's get going. All right. So there are 8. So we're going to start with brows first, because I'm here to tell you that if you learn how to do a brow enhancement, and that's basically all we're going to be doing tonight, that can open up a whole series of conversations and demonstrations for other products, which will lead to sales. Trust me when I tell you. Raquel, you get ready. You planning to do an event soon, and one of the things that I would say when I would go to events and people walking by, hi, come over and let me just show you in 60 seconds or less how I can transform your brow. What's wrong with my brow? Nothing's wrong with it. Just sit down and let me show you something. And then we would go through what we're going to do tonight. But they're basically 8 steps. It's really 7 to the brow. The last one, the 8, is really optional in terms of whether you do a highlighter. But you will see when I take my brow off and when I do all of the structuring for you to be able to see how it's done, the difference that the highlighter does make. So, the steps are basically, and this is in order that you would do it. So you first are and you'll see, we'll go through this exercise. You're going to find a place where the brows begin and end. Once you start with that, you'll never go wrong in terms of whether your brows will be too long, too short, not in the right position, not framing the eye. But and once you do this and you figure out where the brow begins and ends on your face, it'll be easy for you to be able to look at individuals and kind of see where it stops. But you can always use a tool, whether it's a angle brow brush to be able to do it, or the brow pencil. So either one of them will do. You just need something that's long enough for you to be able to get to the end and touch. So the end of your nose, your nostril is really your gauge. So we'll go through that when we get to it. And then you want to find the spot where your arch should peak, okay? Because there is a method to the madness in terms of where that brow begins to go up, okay? And it's basically, you're looking at your iris and you're going like a little bit to the right, okay? And that will tell you where that arch needs to begin, because I'm going to show you just kind of how the brow has evolved. And some of them you may look at and say, I used to wear my brows like that, okay? Or I know somebody that used to do that, okay? And then you determine where the brow should end. There is a method. Have you seen somebody that their brow was wrapped around their eye, okay, all the way down on the side of their face, or it stopped all the way up here and it was like something was missing? Well, there is there's a process that you want to go through to make sure, because the brow is designed to frame the face, and it kind of naturally does that. But over time, it may be, because you're going to see when I take my brow products off, I really don't have much hair, okay? And so if I walked around and did not use my brow products, my face, my makeup, everything would look incomplete, okay? And the brows really do give the face expression. If you take a person's brows away, they become expressionless, okay? And if you don't believe it, cut all your brows off. I did that at 12 years old, and my mother wouldn't let me put brow pencil on, so I had to walk around looking crazy. So that was really one of the reasons why I became a brow advocate, because I remember having to walk around with no brows on my face. And it was, the kids were picking on me and I was crying and carrying on. But at the end of the day, you know, as adults, you know, we kind of learn how to be able to make good on some of the things. You also need to decide how thick you want your brows to be. Now, thickness will, you know, has a lot to do with the rest of the features on your face. You know, so if you've got more fine, you know, kind of fine, petite kind of features, whether it's the lips or the nose or your eyes are small, then of course you want the brows to be in proportion. So it looks crazy, and you probably have seen individuals like this where they're, you know, everything is kind of tiny on the face, or everything may be a little bit more enlarged on the face, you know, in terms of the eyes or the nose or the, you know, the lips or whatever. And then the brows all of a sudden are just the opposite. Either they're too small, too thin, or they're too thick. And so there is a balance. And so you really want to look at yourself in the mirror and determine whether your face can carry off a thin brow or whether it needs a little bit more thickness. So we'll see that as well. Also, brushing the hairs up. You know, you can use the spoolie that comes on the end of our brow brush is great. You can also buy disposable mascara wands, which function well as a brow brush as well. And the more, as you think about, you know, because it's just a matter of time before COVID is going to end, and we're going to get back to doing events and doing special kinds of presentations and meeting with clients. And so you need to make sure that you have everything disposable, because you wouldn't want to use this on everybody because it's just not, you know, it's not going to be sanitary. Everything that I'm using today are personal tools of mine. And then, you know, so you brush the brows up, you know, and a lot of times, you know, if you are able to kind of shape your brows, you know, brushing the brows up, you know, can show you where you can trim some of the edges of the hair so that the brow is clean, okay? You need a set of tweezers, you know, because you can clean up your own brows and be able to make sure that you've got a brow that looks freshly manicured, okay? That's a good way to do it. And then you can outline the desired shape of your brow as well. And then the final step is to fill in. So what you're seeing on my face today is outlined and filled in brows, where I've, you know, kind of, I've been able to, I know where to begin and to end my brows, and that's what you'll have to do, okay? And then applying a highlighter, you'll see the benefit of that when we get to the end, and then we will go from there. So I'm gonna keep going and then we'll get on to the demo, okay? So here's a century of brows. Y'all remember, you know anybody that had brows like this? I know you did. Some of y'all may have been wearing your brows like this. Class. Okay. So, but do you know people today? I see women with brows like this and brows like this and brows that look like the Arch of St. Louis. You know, I don't know, but I mean, but I see it. And I always, when I get if I get a chance to be able to speak to the person, I said, just let me show you something. I'm not going to criticize what I'm seeing. I'm not going to tell them that it doesn't look the way that it should look. I said, let me show you what the brow that I would suggest for you. Well, is anything wrong with your brows? No, just let me show you something new. And so we're never going to criticize the client for what you see. What we're doing is trying to help them to be able to get it all together. Okay. So if anybody, if you know people like that have any of these brows, or maybe there's a brow that's not even shown on here that you've seen, then you know, this is the reason why you as a beauty influencer and a consultant want to know how to be able to do what we're going to do tonight. Okay. Now the next couple of slides is really going to show you just the difference in thicker brows and who can pull it off. Like this girl, this brow is probably a little thick for her, but she's able to pull it off because, you know, she's contoured and she's got a lot of things going on. This young lady here is kind of pulling it off, but I think she would look better if they were a little bit thinner. What do you think? You know, so, you know, everybody is going to, you know, there are people that are going to insist on wanting to have a thicker brow. And then there are people that will want to go thinner. And sometimes, you know, you will see that they need to reverse what they're doing. Okay, so this is an example of a thicker brow that's well manicured, that's, that's shaped, and it looks good. So as long as you are following some basic principles in terms of how you are filling in and structuring the brow, you can kind of fudge your way through. But when you take photographs and you look at yourself, how your image got captured, that will tell you a lot about what you see. Okay, so here's a thinner brow, and they both they look, they look pretty good. They're well manicured, they're shaped. And we also, in addition to looking at how thick or thin the brow is, you also don't want to make sure that the brow is too dark. Okay, so the brow color should be probably a couple of shades lighter than the hair. And even if you use a darker color, using the brush on the end to kind of shade it down will help to make it, it will give an illusion that it's a lighter color because it's not as dense in terms of where the color has gone. Okay. All right, and then here are the multitaskers, and like I said, what I'm going to be using tonight is going to be the coffee bean, which is the darker combination here. We've got ginger snap, we've got blonde, we have toffee, and we have coffee bean. And just so you know, Floyd Roberts will have the toffee and the coffee bean probably in the next 8 weeks, okay? Because we're out of brow powders today. I've been using the brunette, which that's going to be gone shortly as well. So we'll be prepared and make sure that we have brow products for you across both of the brands, although you can use the ones here in Color Me Beautiful to work for all the skin. So we've got something for all skin tones, even in Color Me Beautiful, okay? And then the next multitasker, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to use the Floyd Roberts cream to powders. We've got 14 shades of brown that go from light to deep. The lightest one being ginger, the deepest one being mocha. And we've got a lot of colors in between. And between all of these colors, you're going to see that, we can highlight, we can contour, we can do whatever we want to do. And you're staying within one category of products. And the customer is going to love that. I mean, because if you look at what's happening in the marketplace today, people are buying all these different brands, all these different products to be able to create a look. And here at Floyd Roberts, Color Me Beautiful, and Adrian Arpel, you can get the look within one brand, even one category of product, okay? And in terms of contouring, this is kind of the basic concept, so you go around the hairline. So I'm gonna do all of this on one side of my face so that you can kind of see how it goes. The highlighter always goes kind of like here and here and here, and then your contouring is going here around the jawline and around the hairline. And it really is, and the thing that's great is even though you're doing all of these different shadings and things, what you're going to do is you're creating an illusion, okay, when it's all said and done. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like here on a fairer skin, and then on darker skin, it's the same concept. You just, it tells you the positioning. So the darker color always is going to go around the outer edge of the face, and then here in the hollow of the cheeks, and then around the jawline, the side of the nose, and you got it covered. And then everywhere else, the highlighter is gone, and then you go and you buff it all in together to create the illusion, okay? And so that's what we've got. So let's get on with our demo, and we will go from there. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so that we can go live here. Is that Linda Webster? Girl, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to you. So I'm doing a live
birthday,
demo
Linda.
in honor of your birthday, Tom. Okay, all right.
Hey.
Another multitasker, ladies, is the proof positive one step. Okay, this will remove anything. It will remove makeup. It will remove magic marker, permanent marker. It will remove brow products. It will remove mascara. It will remove foundations and powders, eyeliners, whatever you have on your face, this product will remove it. Beatrice, this is one of your favorite products, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I
One
love it.
step. Yeah.
Everybody's
And
skin.
so it's nothing but water and vitamins, ladies. So you can use it. It's for the most sensitive of skins. It is, we call it one step. It's 3-in-1 because it functions as a cleanser, a toner, and a makeup remover. Okay. So, and I want to emphasize to you the importance of using the right, when you're removing products off of your face, that you are careful with how you are removing the products, okay? And I'm getting cotton balls because I'm not taking off mascara and all that. Okay, so I'm literally taking off all of my foundation, brow products. I'm going around my eyes in the way that you always should be manipulating the eyes, which is counterclockwise, because if you're pulling like this, and if that's the way you're treating under your eye area, you're going to age prematurely, guarantee you. Okay. I tell people all the time, I want to look tight when I'm 70, 80 years old. And in order for me to look tight and not have sagging skin and, carrying baggage under the eye area, there's certain things that you need to do. And that is the way that you manipulate around the eye area. So you should always, so if you're not putting on your eye cream the right way, or you're not removing your makeup the right way, begin to do it after tonight. And it just dawned on me, I didn't bring that one. I left my moisturizer in there, but we'll pass by that. Okay, so you see the difference between the enhanced brow. You see, I have a little hair and I've got a little structure, but you can't see it. It disappears when the products go away. All right. Any questions so far as I'm going?
Can you repeat again about the eye circulation when you remove an eye?
Okay, so always go counterclockwise when you and fourth finger, if you're using your finger, and if you're doing like I'm doing where I'm removing products, using a cotton ball, you use the same concept. Okay, so I'm going to go back and just make sure that there is no, because I want this to be completely clean. That's the great thing about, and if there's not, I've gotten all of the makeup off for the most part. But so if most people do like this, you agree?
Yeah, they do.
They do. And so, but if at a certain age, it will catch up with you. Believe me when I tell you, okay? You will see that lines will have formed prematurely. The skin will, you'll see them losing elasticity. So if you want to stay tight around, and firm around your eye area, do this. Okay, I had my mentor taught me these kinds of things, and she was still tight at 90 years old. Okay, so up and out when you are dealing with your forehead. Okay, out in when you're dealing around your eye area, and up and out when you're doing everything else. What do they do when they do a facelift? Right? So why in the world would you do this? It just makes sense. Does it not? I'm still getting a little bit of makeup off here, but not much.
Yeah. So Sharon,
Uh-huh.
just to clarify, out around the top of the eye and in along the bottom so that it's clockwise on the other eye, correct?
You mean this way? On this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. So I would be going, if I was on this eye, I would be going this way. On this eye, I'm going here. So you're going from the outer in, not from the in out.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so out in, and then here you are coming around. Okay, but on the bottom, which is kind of the most important area, you're going out in and then coming around this way. Okay. Because this is the area that is most prone to showing aging faster. Okay.
And Miss Sharon is using the her ring finger. That's what I was always told. Use your ring
Right,
finger.
the
is the-
ring finger. So your fourth finger,
Yep.
and the rationale behind that is that it applies the least amount of pressure on the
Okay.
face. Try it. Use your thumb, use your index finger, use your third finger, and then use your fifth finger. And the fourth finger is the weak link on your hand.
Mhm.
Okay, so it stands to reason that when you are manipulating around the eye area, and then even when you're doing, when you're cleaning your face, you can use your whole hand. That's not a problem. The thing is not to be pulling down on the face. Every time I see that, I always make sure that I bring that to the client's attention, because most people do like this. They do like this. It's just natural. Now, up and out around the forehead, out in around the eyes, and up and out for the face, and even for the neck, the décolleté. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So I didn't bring my moisturizer, but that's okay. We're gonna skip. Okay. So let's go with the brows now. Okay. So remember we said that you gotta first figure out where the brow ends and begins. Okay. So you can see my brow doesn't start until here. Okay. And then it stops here. That's okay. I'm grateful that I work for a cosmetic company. I really am. Because I can use all of the tools. So where my brow needs to begin is where a pen, a pencil, a ruler, a brow pencil lands if you put it and let that pencil or pen land on the side of your nose. So my brow, and let me just get a black pencil to make a mark. Okay. So that's where it needs to begin. Okay. Where does it need to end? So you take the same pen, pencil, ruler, whatever, and it should end so that you can lay that straight object and hit the end of your nose. Okay. So my brow needs to end right there. Okay. All righty. So now what I'm going to do now is create an outline. Okay. And that'll go away. All right. So I'm starting here, and you can see that my natural hair is kind of here, but it's very thin. If I walked out and like this and looked at myself in the mirror, I'd just smack myself in the face and say, go home, girl, just go on home. Okay. Go home. All right. So we're gonna create the outline. So this is the dark brown pencil. Okay. And you remember we talked about, so here's my iris. Okay. So I need my arch and where I'm gonna lift up the eye is gonna be in here. Okay. So I'm gonna start, so I'm gonna start going up here. And right now I'm just kind of creating an outline. We'll go back and clean it up. Okay. And then how thick do I want my brow to be? Okay, so we're gonna get rid of all of this later. Okay, so I'm basically, and you'll see why the highlighter comes in. So I've got the bottom. So how thick do I want it to be? I don't want it to go any further than here. So this is going to be my top. And it doesn't matter what it looks like now, it's a matter of what it's gonna look like when we finish, okay? So in order for you to do, so we've got the basic structure, you got the outline, okay? And you see where it's supposed to be able to begin, and we see where it's going to end. So now an important tool for you to have is an angled brow brush, okay? So, they're big in the marketplace. You can go and find them, anywhere, to be able to do it. I'm going to use the dark one, and I'll probably mix some of these. And this can also double and be a multitasker in terms of you can create a smoky eye with this. So we'll do that too. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, so we've got the the outline and we see where we're going to start. Hey, Regina. And so now we're going to fill in the middle. Okay. And then we'll go back and so you see your brush is doing the work in terms of creating the brow. And it's okay that it's going to look a little messy in the beginning, okay? Because that's the beauty of the highlighter, okay? All right, so I'm using the darker brown that's over here. So, you know, some people will go out of the house just like this. You seen them?
You're funny.
Okay. You know I'm telling the truth, child, I tell you. Okay. Okay, so that's the raw brow. And the reason why I said to you guys, I said a highlighter is optional. It is optional, but in my book is non-negotiable. Okay, now we're going to talk about multitasker. So I'm getting ready to this is a cream to powder. This is amber. And I'm going to take another angle brush. So now what I'm getting ready to do now is really clean up and make that brow start to look like what I want it to look like. Okay. So basically what I'm going to do is you see how that structure is coming in? Okay.
You
so
still got it, Miss Sharon.
That amber C1 is the cream to powder that I'm using. And I'm basically using that highlighter to create structure under that brow. You see it coming into play? And you can take that cream to powder and put it all over your lid. This is a great way to make your brow look like you just did it. Okay. You can also, you know, if you brave enough, you can put a little bit on the top if you want to sharpen up the top, but that's not really necessary because it's underneath that really is more important. Okay. And so I'm going to take just this little flat brush and blend it out. And you can use this all over the eye, which will end up being a base for you for eyeshadow. And basically you just kind of, you cleaning it up and making the shape that you want. So you see it's going up, it's right where it needs to be. And the end of it is there as well. And you know, you can always come back and do that. Okay, so that looks a lot better than it did before, doesn't it? Okay. All right, so now the next thing we're gonna do, and I'm again just trying to, because you can make your brow look like you just got a fresh waxing or whatever by using the highlighter. Now, if I want to, soften this up a little bit because it may be just a little bit darker than I want it to be, that's where your brush comes in, and you basically are just kind of, because if you can brush up, but if you end up having hairs that come out, you still got to go back and lay them back down. Okay. And if you have tweezers or like a little razor, you can always clean up under here even more. Okay. All right. So what you think?
Beautiful.
You hear people say that your brows need to look like they're related. They don't have to be sisters, but they look like they're cousins or something like that. The reason why they say that is that you don't want to have one that's going up too high and these right now, this one is a little bit thicker than that. So I can always go back and do that. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take now, so I don't have any foundation on. You see, I've got dark eye circles around here. So the next thing I'm going to do, and Regina has done, a lot of this. Regina taught us a while ago. Okay. So I'm going to use mocha I'm gonna do contouring first, okay? And basically, I'm gonna put the dark color around the edges in here, there,
Mhm.
and on the side of the nose. Okay, and you know, you can, if you decide you don't want to use this dark of a contrast, you can do that too. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same, well, no, I'm going to use sand cream to powder to do my highlighter. Okay, so that's the pan. So I'm just going to take a brush, and I actually have, I was a big advocate on sponges, but I now have embraced the whole idea of brushes now.
Mhm.
Because it gives a airbrush look, and it helps you to just make the face look more in sync. Okay, so that's sand C3. So you can see where I did the mocha around the edges and all that. And now what I'm going to do is, so we've put all the creams are on. And so and matter of fact, let me just, you know, you want to still have a little bit of blending on it, but you want to see how the product has settled. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to put powder on. So I'm going to use the Toast. I've got my kabuki brush, and now I'm going to kind of pull it all together. So, you know, once you put all your creams on first, and then you put your powders on, and you pull it all together. Okay. And I'm going to go back again with multitaskers, and I'm going to take that same brow powder. So if we wanted to create a smoky eye, I'm going to take that and just that one color. I mean, because we don't have to spend a whole lot of time doing our makeup. It's
Oh,
just
what
a
you got
matter
on the
of,
other eye?
huh?
What you got on the other eye?
The other eye, I had on my blush, and I did the Black Magic on the corner. I didn't have eyeshadow all over my lid.
Okay.
So this is the darkest color here.
Okay.
And if you want a more severe smoky, just pat a little bit more on.
Looks good.
And then I'm going to use the little bit of sand bronzer as my blush. Just put it right here on the side. And that's it. Done. Does it look the same? Not really. So what you think?
Like the eyebrow.
You
You
still
like that
got
brow?
it.
Yep.
You like eyebrow?
Yeah.
But
Look
this
good.
one is not related. This is
Right.
a step.
They step.
Remember, they not
They step
twins.
members.
They're not
They not
twins.
cousins.
They're step
sisters.
sisters.
They're
They
sisters,
step
not
sisters. They not
twins.
They used to
cousins.
say that all
They're
the
sisters,
time.
not twins.
They
So
not
let's see.
twins.
Let's see if we can get them to be more related. All right, so I'm gonna go back and get my Amber C1. I think it's really a matter of just putting a little bit of, because I think this one is a little bit sharper in here. That's looking a little crazy right now.
That's why I don't do my own makeup on live.
Huh?
I don't do mine live.
That's all right, child. We're gonna get it. We're
Be
gonna
there
get it.
all day.
Huh?
I'll be there all day.
All day.
trying to
Me
do it
too.
live.
Me too.
No, but you don't
They
want to be
like-
there all day, you know, because you know your face better than anybody else's.
Mhm.
So the thing is to just find those, you know, once you find your right formula
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
terms of shades, you know, what are you going to
Mhm.
use for your contour? What are you going to use for your highlight? What are you going to use for the highlight under your brow?
Mhm.
Then it works.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah, they looking related now.
They're looking like they kind of have
They
they in the
linking
same
up.
family.
Yep, they
Let's
linking up. They just finding each other. They linking up.
They try to look like the birth certificate match.
Mhm.
And I think what I need to do too is put a little, because I think I'm having a hot flash. I think I need to just powder it down a little bit. I love this kabuki brush. And then the other thing you can do, the other multitasker, is you can use a powder to highlight. So I'm going to take, this is amber powder,
Mhm.
and just put a little bit under the eye area,
Mhm.
just to, and on the nose, just to brighten it up, you know, because like if you look at your face in the mirror and you feel like you need some brightening, just use a lighter powder on top, because you don't want to go back and put cream on after you've put powder. So you use the powder on top. I tell you, it's nothing like, you know, when you powder that face down, it just brings everything into order. Because you see how that, you know, it took that moisture off the face.
It
Mhm.
seals the deal.
Seals the deal. That's it. So your cream to powders. Now, we didn't deal with base strokes and all that tonight, but you could do the exact same thing with the base strokes as we did with the cream to powder. You can use a lighter shade, the praline, the vanilla, to do under the eyes and the highlighter. You can use truffle, java, cognac, any of the other shades to be able to do that. And then, you know, if you were, you know, and Color Me Beautiful, you know, you can do the same concept, you know, just using deeper colors, whether you're using a deeper blush or deeper, you know, eyeshadow, or don't be afraid to pop over into Flory and get deeper shades if you want to be able to do the contouring that's going to be a little bit more noticeable on the skin. Okay, so even though I use that mocha, it just kind of blends in, because once you pull everything together, it's supposed to be subtle, you know. And I share with you, everybody, that when I first started playing around with contouring, I had a flight to catch early in the morning. I had to drive to BWI, and I had done this contouring. And when I got up to the gate where I was getting ready to get on the plane, the lady said, you know, you got lines on your nose. And I knew exactly what she was talking about. So I just got my ticket, went to the bathroom, and tried to get it off. And it was still on there. So they were probably looking at me like I was crazy. But it was early in the morning, I could get away with it. So just always know that, you know, feel good about yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you do something and it somebody looks at you and they ask you why. Just say, you know what? I'm experimenting. That's all you tell them. I'm new in the business. I'm learning how to do contouring. See me in a couple of months and I'll be charging you $75 to do what I just did on my face. So that's it, ladies. And any questions? So that's it. So when you think that you can't do your own brows, you just haven't practiced. So just do it. Play around with it. Get your pencils, get your angle brushes, get your brow products, find the right color that is going to give you that's going to marry and match up with your hair color. And, or, you know, and remember the basic theory is your brow should be a couple of shades lighter than your hair, you know, and my hair is kind of dark brown off black. So, but I didn't use black pencil. I used dark brown. Okay. And then if you need to shade it down, remember your spoolie and your brush is your best friend, because you can always go and just smooth it out. And it also makes it look more real. because you don't want to walk in and a person know that you got brow products on. They should think that they're your brows, even though you've got product on them. Okay. Any questions?
So Sharon, if you have all gray.
All gray? Your
So-
hair, your brows are gray?
Yeah.
Okay. And is your hair salt and pepper as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly salt.
Mostly salt. Okay. All right. So then what you would want to do is probably look at using a like a very, very dark brown. What you want to do is really kind of cover up the gray. But you can't go black, so
Right.
you almost got to do a really dark brown just to shade in and camouflage, because it's okay for your brows to be all one color, even though you got salt and pepper hair. You just don't want it to be black. You want it to be a soft gray black, and you may have to use this is a case where you may have to mix the colors in your brow duo to be able to get it where it's soft enough. Okay.
Right. Gotcha.
Is anybody on here that has salt and pepper that you are doing that?
I do. I have my salt and pepper in my hair. I want my hair, natural with my gray showing. So I use the dark brown and fluorite to kind of
do your brows. Yeah.
do my brows.
So I mean, some people actually dye their brows, Valencia. But you can camouflage, you can use brow products and be able to create an illusion. You just don't want to go black. Okay.
Exactly. Okay.
And even the taupe pencil in Color Me Beautiful could be something that you could use as well, because that's kind of got a little bit of gray, a little bit of brown in it. And that would be a good place, that could be kind of your pencil to shade.
Yeah, as a white-haired person or very light haired person, the taupe works great because you have to go a few shades darker than
Right.
your very
Yeah.
light color.
Yeah. So the taupe is a great choice to be able to kind of camouflage and deal with, the lighter side of the brows that you want to enhance. But you may not want to do anything that is as permanent as doing the dye.
No, I tried that once, and
You did?
the hair is so resistant it only some of it died and some didn't.
Yeah.
So
that's
kind of crazy.
So, but try the taupe powder, the taupe pencil, and then, like I said, I suspect that you'll probably need to mix either a little bit of the toffee brow duo or even the coffee bean to kind of go with it. So it's okay to mix and match. The thing is to get kind of that perfect color brow that doesn't overpower your face against your hair color.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. So everybody good with doing your brows?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Listen, there's nothing, it's not about perfection. It's about practice and progress. So just keep doing it. Do it on yourself. Practice on other people. And I'm telling you, the secret to a great brow is that cleanup at the end. I'm telling you, because when you're new and you're, trying to structure the brow, if you take that little angle brush that I had, I don't know what I did with it. Okay, this is like a dual ended, so it's a brush on the end and then the angle at the end. This is great. And matter of fact, another thing that's good for a beginner, the concealers that we have are a great thing for you to use as well, because you've got the doe foot applicator, and you could just go and dot under there, right? And then take your brush it does the same thing. And matter of fact, it gives you
Pop that brow.
it popped that brow, it pops it. So that's the Color Me Beautiful I can't even read it. So I need to get some magnifying glass. I think it's the darkest shade. So it may be like medium. I need to take a little bit off of here. But you see that you can, it doesn't matter whether you're using a concealer, whether you're using a foundation. The concealer works really good because you got that applicator, but that's for you to use on yourself. If you're using it on a customer, you would need to have a disposable brush and put that concealer on there, okay? And the only thing that you have to make sure that you don't do is that you don't leave it where it's too light, you know, because the days of, you know, having that severe white on the top and underneath is gone. You just want to create an illusion that that you just had a fresh brow shaping. So you see, even adding the Color Me Beautiful concealer at the end, you know, kind of gave it a little bit more highlight. Okay. And then if all else fails, get you some bangs and cover up the brow. How about that?
I ain't gonna be able to do that, honey. You see that fro? I gotta get this right tight,
Straighten it
girl.
out. Straighten it out and pull it to the left. That's all you got to do.
How nice with that?
I know. All right. So any questions? Everybody good?
Are we good? They related now,
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sherry.
practice.
They're related now. Okay.
They related
so
now.
I'll give them their birth certificate. They have been born into the next family. Like I said, if all else fails, take that bang and cover it up. Cover it up. Okay. And but it's all, you know, it's all good. The brows just are so important. The brows are so important to really the face. And you know, I think that for me, the brow is the one non-negotiable thing that I don't go out of the house with.
It's pretty, Sharon. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Okay. And you see, I mean, it doesn't take that much. And then,
It's good.
you know, and use your fingertips. Don't be afraid to use your fingertips, but have your angle brush for your brows, your angle brush for your highlighter, and a blending brush to be able to pull it all together. And basically you talked about using 2 products, you know, your brow powder, pencil, you can use combination of both, your foundation or concealer,
Okay.
and everything else. That's it. So whether you're doing lashes or mascara, you know, those are all just kind of to accentuate and really just finish off the look that you're trying to create. Okay.
Thank you.
It's 10 minutes to 9, y'all. We did it. Okay. So multitaskers, 1 step. Everybody should have that in their cosmetic wardrobe. Brow powder duos, 4 shades to choose from, coming soon to Floyd Roberts, but it'll be under different names, but same shades as Toffee and Coffee Bean. Your cream to powder, your powders, and your utensils. And that's it. So make sure you have your brushes to apply your foundation. You know, because the brushes really do help you to be able to create and finish a look, and that's doing the work. And even if you have, you know, even if you put on the wrong shade of foundation or concealer or highlighter or contour, bring it back together. You know, you can always correct any mistake. So don't be afraid to try different combinations of colors to be able to create the look. There's so much information out on YouTube, and you know, you don't have to go as severe. I see people, you know, using so many products. Like that's too many products. I mean, we're talking about what, 4 products that you can do to do everything for your face.
Yes, less is best.
Less is better. Yeah, less is better. Less is
Linda,
better.
Linda
got her
has her
hand
hand
up.
up. Linda
Linda
got
has
her
her hand up.
Mhm. You still
Okay. Oh,
recording,
look, I
Sharon?
see chats. I see chats too. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Because
You
you know
still
I
recording?
don't read the chats.
I know. You still recording, Sharon?
Okay, so for those of you that are listening, bye-bye.